and welcome to the We Can Do It Women TV show, where I'm your host, Debra Morrison, and I am so pleased to have with me today Linda Fisk. Linda, welcome to the show.
I am so pleased to be here, Debra. What an honor. What a pleasure to be with you. So thank you so much for the invitation.
Right now, I am absolutely riveted with all of your successes, and let's dial back to when you were a child, the only white girl, only white person in a multiracial family. And then you had another issue, which was really kind of problematic and ostracized you from kids and made you maybe the butt of some jokes. Talk to us about some of those pains.
Yeah. I would say that early in my life, I understood that it takes both grit and grace in equal combination to be able to advance whatever your dreams are, whatever your unique definition of success is. And when I was very, very young, I was diagnosed as being clinically shy. And what that really meant was that I couldn't even hold eye contact with someone, let alone have a conversation. And as I began to get a bit older in grade school, middle school, that really manifested in a very significant stutter. I both neurologically and psychologically, what I was dealing with sort of a disability in that I couldn't connect with other people in conversation. I stuttered so badly that it became impossible to enter into any kind of dialogue with anyone. And so it created a little bit of a self-imposed isolation because it was so difficult to create that connection, that one-on-one conversation. Now, ironically, if I was in a very secure, safe environment with my family or a very good friend one-on-one, that really dissipated. But in a larger environment like a classroom or a playground, I absolutely could not utter a word. And so as I advanced, I realized, gosh, I am not going to be able to absolutely see all of my goals and ambitions, my objectives, my mission and vision come to fruition unless I find a way of overcoming this disability, this incredible stuttering issue that I dealt with. So I feel like the radical decision, I had radical responsibility around this, and I decided that I was going to take all the necessary steps, no matter how humbling, no matter how many missteps, how many failures, how many setbacks I experienced. I was going to take on the responsibility of doing everything I could to overcome that. So in college, I decided that I would take every single public speaking class available. I would go into speech therapy, psychological therapy, counseling, and really try to understand what my capability really was to overcome this. And I really want to explore and discover, is this a possibility that I can move forward with life in a way that doesn't include a stutter? And so through many very, very humbling, very, very embarrassing moments, the first of which was standing in front of my entire classroom in my very first public speaking course. Our very first assignment, we were to give just a 5-minute talk. I'm standing behind the podium, gripping it to dear life, and I could feel myself starting to shake. I could feel myself starting to break out in a sweat. And then all of a sudden, I could feel the words choking in my throat and just unable to utter a word. I looked up at the classroom, and the last thing I remember is my teacher running over to me saying, "Are you okay?" Because I had passed out entirely. So imagine that from the very beginning in college to the end of the 4 years, where I actually won a national speaking competition. I was voted the #1 speaker in our campus at our university, and then went on to speak at college stadiums with 5,000 and 10,000 people and won national competitions for public speaking. That is, I think, the epitome of grit and grace, being strong enough to move forward, to pursue a long-term vision, your mission, your purpose in life, but also having enough grace to recognize, I'm not going to get this right the first time, and I have to forgive myself to be able to move forward.
Well, first, the grit and grace is all over that trajectory and those years. And I just, when I've heard this and I hear this story and I think, Linda Fisk couldn't put two words together. And it's funny now, of course, this has to be completely painful. And so when you empower other, particularly women now, to find their voice.
Yes.
I think this has such deep and rooted meaning for you in particular. Well, if you don't know Linda Fisk, you're going to learn more about her now. And so talk to us then about how you came through a very accomplished career, both to the beginning and you're in the middle of it, and basically now bringing together membership groups. Became the CMO and then graduated the CEO, and there's just nothing stopping you. So what keeps you going? What's the drive behind your rapid ascension?
I would say that in those early years, I really recognized the power of partnership and the power of community because, again, I was so isolated, and some of that was self-imposed isolation. I felt inept. I felt incompetent to even have a conversation with someone and to establish that kind of intimacy, that kind of connection with another person. And so I began observing people, and I recognized there's so much power in community and partnership and relationship. And as I began my career ascension, I became drawn to other incredible leadership communities all over the world, had the grand opportunity to serve in the C-suite of one of the largest and most prestigious membership organizations in the world. And I remember watching these leaders come together, and it's through their collaboration, through their cooperation, that they were able to solve some of the most daunting issues that were facing their community, their nation, their industry. I saw leaders come together to problem solve, to be able to brainstorm, to be able to vision cast what was possible. And it was through community, it was through working together that not only were they able to advance their own vision, mission, and purpose, but they were able to really advance technology, industry, medicine, any kind of aspect that they were focused on really trying to solve a problem or advance a success or invent a new solution. And it's through connection with others that we're able to significantly accelerate our success.
Mm-hmm. Well, this significant acceleration has been borne out in achievement after achievement in your life and career. And this is such a truism about the cooperation and the collaboration.
Yes.
Because people sometimes get a little bit stopped with competition.
Yes.
Well, come on. Let's be in relationship with each other, and I'm going to see the true you, and you're going to see the true me through effective communication.
That's right.
And now we're going to start to brainstorm about how we can help each other, because 1 and 1 make actually 5, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a transformative partnership is when 2 or more people, organizations, groups come together and they recognize that they have a shared value. They have a shared vision that is bigger than any one individual or group could ever achieve by themselves. So when you're able to identify that shared value, that shared mission, and you also recognize the unique value that every single person or every single organization or group brings to the table, then in fact what that does is it creates a multiplier effect. And that multiplier effect then accelerates not only the impact of that solution that's being born, but it also accelerates the timeline to bring that solution to bear. So yes, and it's
before you let all the nuggets out, we're going to take a quick station break and we're going to catch up with the rest of that thought because it's rich. Thanks, Linda.
Let me introduce you to Debra Morrison. If you're a woman who thinks her best years are behind her, we're here to tell you your best chapter is just beginning. Join the We Can Do It Women Facebook group. It's more than a community, it's a revolution. Reclaim your dreams, master your finances, and unleash your potential. We're just getting started. Join now and let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. We can do it, women. Join us today.
Welcome back to the We Can Do It Women TV show, and I'm continuing our conversation with Linda Fisk, and it's such a pleasure. Thanks again. Now, you have formed a membership group, and it is such a flourishing group called LeadHERship Global. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, so LeadHERship Global is really founded on this principle that it's in partnership, it's in community that we are able to really flourish and thrive. And I wanted to provide a safe haven for women, a place where they could be vulnerable and transparent and real about the obstacles they're facing, the challenges they're facing, the opportunities in front of them, so that other women can cheer them on and provide unbiased, objective counsel, that they can open up doors to new opportunities and resources and tools. And so we have created this amazing global community of women that are really pretty extraordinary in positions of influence and positions of leadership all over the world. We have women that are running multinational nonprofits, women that are running billion-dollar corporations, as well as women that are running solopreneur enterprises. But those women are some of the most impactful in our community because they serve as coaches and teachers and trainers. They serve as therapists and advisors and directors for other women that need some sort of advice or counsel, or maybe they just need a shoulder to lean on. And those are the women that provide that kind of service. So it's this beautiful ecosystem of women supporting women and women advising and counseling other women. And we provide access to resources and tools and connections and experiences and events that otherwise they may not even know about and certainly have the opportunity to take advantage of.
Well, you mentioned the word opportunity a few times, and each time it's just reveling in my ears because I met you through LeadHERship Global, of course, at a retreat, and it was intentionally a small, intimate retreat, and yet we're gathered here in Texas, and there are women from all over the world that flew themselves there to be together for 4 days. This spoke powerfully to me before anyone opened their mouth. And so then when we get communications from you, it is almost like 3 pages on a cell phone of opportunities. And almost always there's 2 or 3 that fit in me exactly. And I can't imagine it's different. So I don't know where you get the energy to go out and, Sherlock Holmes these opportunities, or to create them, Linda, in order to bring them back to us. We have a buffet of opportunity, and that is unbelievable, particularly for women who perhaps have been outside the opportunity zone a lot of their life.
That's right. I know that women around the world often face implicit and explicit biases that often prevent them from having access to media, to funding, to business ownership. And what we try to do is we try to provide the resources, the tools, the connections, the relationships that allow them access to huge media opportunities, huge funding opportunities. We try to ensure that every single woman around the world, no matter if they live in Kenya, Africa, or Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, or Victoria, Canada, that they all have equal opportunity to advance whatever their definition of success is. And we know that every single woman wants to achieve something slightly different. For some women, I want to stand on a TEDx stage. Others want to write their first book. Some want to grow and scale their business to $10 million. Others want to create a global movement. And no matter what your definition of success is, we have access to people, to tools, to resources, to learning, to events and experiences that will absolutely accelerate their success. And I am so pleased by that. But I will tell you, it's not me. It really is the power of community. It's because we attract women who deeply invest in each other's success, like you, Debra. Exactly. You provide incredible leadership, incredible teaching and training about financial advocacy, financial responsibility. You help women take control over their wealth and make well-informed decisions so that if their goal is to create generational wealth, you give them the tools and the resources to do that. And let me just say that if they didn't know Debra Morrison, they might be lost. They might not know that those opportunities even exist.
Exactly.
And so it's raising women like you into positions of influence. It's raising your profile. It's expanding your thought leadership that not only benefit our members, but hopefully also give you the platform to teach and to train and to deeply invest in the lives of women all over the world.
Yes. Well, thank you. Now, I love Linda to pieces, and yet I heard her say, we try to do this. We try. Sweetheart, you do these things.
Thank you.
You do these
Thank
things. Now, this is not uncommon for women to have just this nickel of subconscious wondering if it's working. No, it's working. It's working.
Thank you.
Our efforts are being, they've been seeding, they've been seeded, and they've been fertilized, and you are present to help us harvest. It's time for you. No, you do not need to wait for a new season.
Right.
It's time. See,
That's right.
And so many women want everything to be perfect before they take this next step into their next chapter. And you have said to me, Debra, it's time.
That's right.
Now, this is invaluable as a mentor organization. Everyone is seeing someone else differently, right? Because so many of us, 10,000?
Right.
So we have our information that is coming from many opportunities with different women. And yet it's the women that have gone ahead and are looking back and say, it's time. You got this. You got
Yes.
this.
That's
Go ahead. Starting a not-for-profit. You can do it.
That's right.
And how valuable is that to look at a woman with chops that is saying, let's partner on this.
I will tell you that oftentimes what we're trying to do is reflect back to that woman who they really are, what their potential is. We listen to their personal ambitions, their professional goals, their career objectives. We're listening to that, and then we reflect back. Now is the time. If you want to do this, you can do this, and let us help you. So we are always in a position of reflecting back to each and every member what it is that they are designed to do on planet Earth, and then we support them. And if we find women that are hanging back, are not engaging, are not taking that step, we actually step beside them and say, talk to me, tell me what's happening with you, because you are ready, you are capable, you are competent, and you are ready to take that next step. And I've had so many conversations with women who say, I'm not sure I'm good enough. I'm prepared. I have the right degrees. I have the right experience. I have the right expertise. And my reflection back to them is, yes, absolutely. And now is the time. And so we open up doors to ensure that they have the opportunity to step through that door. Let me just say, when I was going through my journey, trying to see what the possibilities were beyond stuttering, I had people in my corner saying, not possible. And I had people in my corner saying, I believe in you. I believe it's possible. I chose to believe that second group of people that said, give it a shot, try some things, move forward, see what's possible. And sure enough, it was not easy. It took a lot of grit. It took a lot of determination. But I was able to experience small wins, small steps forward that propelled me to finally be over my stuttering issue.
Okay.
We do that for women all over the world.
And you do. And I want you to tell people how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. You can go to our website, LeadHERshipGlobal.com, and you're welcome to fill out just any of the little boxes for contact me. I'm interested in learning more. Or you're welcome to contact me directly, which is Linda@LeadHERshipGlobal.com. I am incredibly excited to speak to any woman who is ready to take that step forward, to step up and step out into their power.
Oh, thank you so much. And we're going to come right back, but we're going to take a quick station break. Don't move. Welcome back We Can Do It Women TV show, and I am continuing our conversation with Linda Fisk. And Linda, tell us about your engaged community in LeadHERship Global, because it is an engaged community.
Yes, thank you so much. So, Deborah, I would just say that I have seen lives transformed in LeadHERship Global. I have seen nonprofits become fully funded. I've seen partnerships formed where each of the individuals in that partnership were able to double and triple the size of their business.
Wait a minute. Double and triple the size of their business. She says that like because it happens like every day.
It's true. I've seen partnerships and joint ventures created that were, again, the beneficiary of the multiplier effect, where that group that comes together in that joint venture, where they were able to create new divisions of their company. They were able to create new revenue streams. They were able to create new opportunities through that joint venture. I've seen opportunities for women to step on stages, to be a paid corporate board member, to be able to receive funding from federal and national sources. It has been absolutely remarkable, but the unifying quality or characteristic of all the women that have created incredible transformation in their personal lives and their professional lives is that they took the step forward to become engaged. They didn't stay back. They didn't stay in the shadows. They didn't observe other people's success. They stepped into their power and said, how can you help me? What can you do to support my dreams? How can I get engaged with people who have an aligned purpose to mine? What can I do to find women who want to support my mission, who have an aligned mission to mine? And as they began to engage with my team and with other members, transformation was created. And Deborah, that is one of the things that I think not only allows you as a leader inside LeadHERship Global to impact other people's lives, but it's all the leaders within our community that step up and step forward and serve others and become engaged. They're able to see incredible transformation in their own lives and take advantage of opportunities that are presented to them, so they don't stay in the shadows. They are not wallflowers. They don't just observe other people having fun and taking advantage of opportunities. They actually step forward to say, how can I serve? And that's exactly what you did.
Yes, exactly. And the rich, in my day, Rolodex, I mean, I don't know like who Linda doesn't know. And so this is such a vast community and ever growing. Yes. And yet, I mean, it's something to have the CEO of a membership community like LeadHERship Global just know. I don't know if you like have a notepad near your bed, but it seems like you're always thinking and you're saying, I'm connecting this person to that person. And it's like ends up being the most powerful connection and introduction. And so when you speak, it's like E.F. Hutton. We're like, okay, I'm doing that. And I really commend you. You've so earned that respect because you deliver. So engage, and you are bringing women up and into their fullness. And there's this contagion. You step in the room and everybody just kind of sits more erect and says, let's do this. And that's the can do, right? On which I have basically formulated, we can do it, women. Right? We've made missteps. Who hasn't? We've made financial missteps. I have 45 years in the financial industry. We've made financial missteps, and a lot of women have castigated themselves and are paralyzed with that memory like 20 years ago. Well, Warren Buffett can admit to more than $5 billion mistakes. I'm saying, hey, here's the license for you to forgive yourself. Look back for the lesson, forgive yourself, face forward, and take that radical responsibility that is such a tenet of LeadHERship Global. And we're all in radical responsibility to better ourselves. So it's stepping up and stepping out and being that engaged member that I have found the membership to give me and so many other members. So I congratulate you.
Women are attracted to like-minded leaders.
Absolutely.
We Can Do It Women is so incredibly well aligned with LeadHERship Global, and that we both believe in radical responsibility and radical candor. When you're able to, in a safe place of trust and intimacy, when you're able to be authentic and genuine and say, I'm struggling, I have an issue, I have a problem, I have an obstacle, I have a roadblock, and you know that that is safe within the confines of that conversation. The good news is that's where breakthroughs happen. When you're able to take radical responsibility for your life, you're able to be authentic, genuine, transparent, and say, I need help. And then you see the incredible outpouring of support from your community to say, what can I do?
Absolutely.
That's the transformation. And that's the kind of community that we've created in LeadHERship Global, because we attract leaders like you who are phenomenally successful, but also not afraid to be authentic and genuine and vulnerable. And you have provided so much support for other women who are struggling with their financial health, right? And that is the one place that I think many women have been perhaps most reticent to really step forward and to take radical responsibility for it. So not only do you need radical candor to say, I need help, but you also need radical responsibility to say, and I'm ready to take that responsibility. So what you do is you create a roadmap for women to say, no matter where you are on the spectrum, no matter if you're $1 million in debt and you have no idea how you're going to make your mortgage payment, or you have $1 million in assets and you're wondering how to best invest them, no matter where you are on that roadmap, you, Debra, saddle up right next to that woman, no judgment, no shame or blame, and say, let's work together. Let's move you forward. And that's part of what in LeadHERship Global we try to do, is look at the whole woman.
Absolutely.
Not just where they are professionally, but where they are in their finances, spirituality, physical health, psychological health, how they feel emotionally, where they are in their career projection. And then we say, what can we do to move you to that next level? And that's what you do so beautifully too. So that's why I believe We Can Do It Women and LeadHERship Global are so incredibly well aligned.
Very, very integrated. And I appreciate that association for sure. And it is in this vulnerability and that safe space, I cannot stress that enough, where people will come out with something, right? And it's kind of like a big coming out party. And then like countless other people have that same issue. And they're like, oh, if they could say it, I can say it. And it's in that safe container that we can bare our souls. And then the forgiveness is almost automatic. And now the contagion for facing forward is evident and rife. And now we are moving forward with the power of all our sisters behind us, beside us, and ahead of us. And I think this confluence of energy, and I speak of money as energy all the time. And so when I up-level women's financial confidence, as we've done in LeadHERship Global as well, then every other facet of their life that gets up-leveled. It's like that rising water raising the ship. And I so resonate with you, Linda, because your say-do ratio is, if not one, so close to one. See, and when women feel safe with each other, their say-do ratio is pretty much one. Now that's a community in which we can all grow and accelerate our process and our progress. And I commend you for LeadHERship Global. Again, give our listeners and viewers where they can reach you.
Sure. It's Linda at LeadHERshipGlobal.com, LeadHERshipGlobal.com, or you're welcome to come to our website, LeadHERshipGlobal.com, fill out any of the forms to get in touch, and someone will respond right away. Now, I will also say one last note here. The credibility and trust that you have extended to our community, we believe in absolutely. And credibility and trust is established only when you have that one-to-one ratio between saying what you're going to do and doing what you say. And that is a tenet. That is a foundational framework that we base our entire community on. That is our tenet. We say what we do what we say to build the credibility and trust that is literally the framework of enabling relationship, enabling that opportunity to connect with someone in a safe, trust-based relationship.
You've nailed it. Linda, what a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.